Welcome to Dingers and Dashers. My name is Josh alongside my co-host Adam. It's a great day to talk all thing Capitals hockey. Let's get right to it. And Adam, these Caps keep taking care of business.
They sure do. It's been awesome to see what the Caps have been able to do the past couple weeks. You've heard people say like beat a real team, beat a couple real teams in a row, and clearly we haven't played the best competition, but Caps can taking care of business. You can't argue with it.
Yeah, so that's the thing, right? The Caps on a West Coast road trip right now are going to be kind of dictating how well can we hang with these top teams? Like, they're going to play Anaheim, and Anaheim's a really good team. But from what we've seen against maybe the slightly less elite opponents that we did play last week, sure, maybe statistically they're weaker teams. They're still NHL teams, and Adam, the Caps still brought a high level of play. You know, they scored high numbers against these teams. They had effective shifts. They did a really great job. So no matter who they're playing, all I see is win after win after win.
Yeah, I like the phrase "you can't argue with results" because you can say stuff that the Caps maybe aren't playing the best competition, which they aren't. But we're getting results, and we're getting results game after game. We're not just beating a couple of these teams, losing to a couple of them. We've beaten team after team, and we're putting up a ton of goals. And I want to lead with one thing that I think is the reason for putting up so many goals is we're playing a lot more open spaced hockey. We're not playing such tight defense. We're not putting less. We're putting a lot more shots on the board, a lot more. We're getting a lot more breakaways, a lot more high danger chances because we're taking our defense and stepping them up. We're stepping up all our offensive players, getting people behind their defense. So it's allowing a couple breakaways, but I think it's doing the job so far.
And you can move to that style of play when you have goalies who can stop those inevitable breakaways at that style. Logan Thompson at the top of the Vezina Trophy conversation right now, he's playing great. And Charlie Lindgren has really shown in his last couple of games that he's been in, he can play really well at this level. So now the question kind of moves to, look, we're a really good 5-on-5 team. We have that locked down. How do we fix our special teams? And I think Scott Allen, coach of the special teams for the Caps, is starting to really find solutions. And we've been calling for it for years. They finally listened. Adam, we have 4 forwards on a power play and only 1 defenseman.
We sure do. I was so happy to see it. I love Carlson on the power play. I love Carlson with Ovechkin on the power play. But there gets to a certain point when you're not getting results. You need to make a change, and you can't have 2 defensemen on a power play. It never really worked. When we were clicking on the power play with Kuzi and all those guys, we had one defenseman, and there was Carlson. Now he's getting a little bit older, and Chicky's a great offensive defender, so you put him on power play 1. You can still have Carlson on power play 2. It works, Josh. And there was one play, a set draw that we saw recently. Ovi to Wilson. Ovi faked the shot, gets Wilson right near the net. He tips it in. Perfect play right off the draw. We win the faceoff. We score right at the beginning of the power play. It's beautiful. That's what we need to see. We need to see more set plays. Scott Allen's really bringing the heat right now.
Yeah, it's all about chemistry, and they're building it. I am a firm believer that these Caps are going to get it together. I still will be honest, I'm still a little bit wary of the penalty kill. It still seems a little bit all over the place. But Adam, it goes exactly back to what you were saying. There's results and there's excuses. And we're seeing results with 1 defender on the power play.
We need to find the right role for each player, and that's exactly what Scott Allen, I think, is doing right now.
Exactly. That's exactly what they're doing right now. And it's eerily reminiscent of that 2018 power play. You have guys like Leonard, who's kind of playing that Kuznetsov. And Strome too, to an extent. They're down below the goal line. They're working hard, digging out pucks, making things happen. The puck, for the most part, is above the goal line. The goalie's looking here. But it's so much of a distraction if the goalie knows that puck's right here, but there's a guy right here who's just behind me that I can't see out of the corner of my eye right now because I'm wearing a big clunky mask, but there's a guy right there who could do some real damage from down there. Okay, let me turn my attention here. No. The greatest goal scorer of all time's right here. Okay, let me worry about the attack down low. No. You can't because you have Chikrin, who's arguably the best offensive defenseman in the NHL right now, lurking right over there. And okay, 4 guys to worry about? No, 5 because Tom Wilson is also on the ice. So the Caps are all of a sudden this multifaceted attack that's coming in, and if the Caps can really get that chemistry right and nail their zone entries, which have been a little bit shaky, they can be from garbage and a poopy power play to the best power play in the NHL.
I totally agree. The key is just finding each and every individual's skill set and using it to the power play's advantage.
Agree. And it's going to be interesting to see if they can learn every single person's individual strength, especially when we have new guys who come up the pipeline. Cole Hutson is a guy who's hopefully going to join the Capitals very soon. Cole Hutson was I think, number 3 overall draft pick from the Capitals a year ago. The younger brother of Lane Hutson, who's on the Canadiens, and he's a defenseman. He's playing another year in college right now for Boston College, but he's going to come up into the NHL
Sorry, Boston University, but keep going. Yeah.
Boston University, my mistake. So he's playing for Boston University. He's going to be really strong for the Caps. So then the Caps are going to need to figure out what's this guy's individual skill set. But we're going to give you a little bit of a rundown on Cole Hutson right now. Adam, why don't you take it away?
Yeah, I had the privilege of seeing Cole Hutson play this past weekend in the Red Hot Hockey Classic at Madison Square Garden. It was a blast. Saw Cornell versus Boston University. Especially was excited to see Cole Hutson play for BU. And Josh, I'm just gonna tell you, I going into it, I was like, am I gonna have to talk about how like Cole Hutson was a great player and just like make things up and whatever? I did not have to. I do not have to. Cole Hutson looks like the best player on the ice. You could just tell he was 10 times better than every player on there. BU had another good guy, Cole Iserman for the Islanders, who's going to be a great player. But you can't, when you see a guy who's just skating through everybody, who's taking like 10 shots a game in college, still at one of the best universities in college, he just looked better than everybody. And as a small defender, I worry. I know the Caps probably had their worries. That's probably why he went in the second round. But can he be the physicality? Can he be the actual defender type you need in the NHL? Can he play with the big guys? Josh, I think he can.
Was he a second round pick?
He sure was. Yeah, second round, late round steal for the Capitals.
Yeah, and I think the Canadiens were just a pick away from actually getting him. Cole Hutson and Lane Hutson could have been teammates, but now whenever the Caps and the Habs play each other, it's going to be a real treat to see. Adam, was it similar to kind of watching last year Ryan Leonard in hockey in college? He set the tone in college hockey last year. He scored the most goals out of anyone there. I remember he had one crazy thing where he got like back-to-back hat tricks, something like that. He's an enforcer. So was it reminiscent of seeing Ryan Leonard play?
Yeah, you could just tell that this guy, the Caps could have called him up already. You could just tell he was NHL ready. There was plays where it would come back to the defenseman, and he would have a guy skating right at him, 2 guys, and he would go right through them. He'd make great passes. He would play great defense. He's a little bit aggressive. He really physical. I was not expecting to see that. He went with their top guys, their big guys, and started like hitting them, checking them. There was a penalty called on him that should not have been called, but he's really fierce, and he's another kind of Ryan Leonard that you don't expect these college guys to have this kind of intensity in them, but that's the guys you want in the NHL, the guys who can be the physicality.
John Carlson, offensive defenseman for most of his career. Last year, he took a little bit of a step back in the offensive category, but through the prime of his career, John Carlson scored a lot of goals, had a lot of assists, and hey, John gets chippy too, all right? John Carlson's going to get physical when he needs to, so I'm loving the parallel I see as John Carlson starts to age out of the NHL. Cole Hutson comes up, and that's how you maintain continuity on a team as good as the Caps. Adam, you were all over the place this weekend. I believe then you saw the Islanders versus the Caps in Long Island this weekend, and you said something about people sitting behind you. Adam, who was sitting behind you this weekend at the
I was able to
Islanders
see
game?
the Capitals-Islanders game at UBS Arena. It was also another blast. Capitals able to get the 4-1 victory. Love to see it. Yeah, but sitting behind me was the parents of Ryan Leonard's girlfriend. He's been dating her for 3.5 years, and they just happened to be sitting right behind us. They were talking about him like, hey, like let's go Ryan, let's go Ryan. They were like, come on Ryan, come on Ryan, and like their youngest daughter was like, Ryan, come on. It was just so funny to see. Like they knew him personally, you could tell. So we asked them, we started talking to them. They were nice people. But yeah, they were like, we're going to go see Ryan Leonard after the game. And it's just cool connections you see when you go to different games, you go to different stadiums. But yeah, Ryan Leonard, love to see what he's doing, want him to keep going. But that was a fun experience for me, Josh.
Caps are going to have to keep taking care of business. Caps Kings is actually going on as we speak. Tom Wilson just put the Caps up 1-0. Tom Wilson's our player to watch for the next week. He's amazing. He won the NHL's third star of the week, where they basically hand out awards to the top 3 players of the week. This past week, Wilson played in 4 games. He had 4 goals and 4 assists, which is unbelievable.
Come on, sorry, a little bit behind there. I don't want to interrupt you, but I just saw the goal. Love it. Sorry.
Love it from Tom Wilson. So with Wilson at the helm. Oh, great assist from Leonard, too. I'm just seeing that now.
That was beautiful, Josh.
Go Ryan. But yeah, the Caps at this head of the ship is going to be Tom Wilson. They're going to be taking on the Kings as we speak. By the time the episode drops, the game will be done. Hopefully it'll be a quick 9-0 Caps win. And then we play the Sharks Wednesday night at 10 p.m. Get your nightcaps, folks, because it's going to be a late one. I'm really hoping to see the Caps continuing some momentum. It's going to be a second half of a back-to-back. Caps play 14 back-to-backs this year, which is a lot. Hopefully they're going to get it done. But Adam, the Ducks, possibly the toughest game of the year, 10 p.m. this coming Friday. What can we expect out of the Caps?
Yeah, the reason it's so tough is because it comes off our 3rd game in a road stand in just 4 days, Josh. You're playing the Kings, who are also a great team. The Sharks, who are actually up and coming in 4th place in the Pacific right now. And then you got the Ducks sitting in 1st place. I expect to see the Caps maybe starting off a little bit slow, but I want to see adjustments. I want to see how they react to the Ducks play. I want to see how they react to this tiredness. If the Caps can pull through and win this game and win 2 out of 3 of these games, I have confidence that they can do anything, because this is one of the toughest games you're possibly going to play the entire season. 3rd game in a road stand against one of the toughest teams in the league. You can't, on the road at 10 o'clock here, for them 7 o'clock. But you cannot ask for more than that. I'm really excited to see what the Caps bring.
Yeah, I think we're going to get a lot of answers. For all the fans who haven't been convinced by the Caps yet, this is going to show them. I think the Caps can take 3 out of 3 games on this road trip. But yeah, the Ducks will be a tall task. We head back home Sunday at 7 p.m. evening game. Blue Jackets come pay a visit to Capital One Arena. Adam and I were actually at Capital Arena a couple weeks ago for a game against the Lightning. It was so much fun. Our vlog of that game is actually up now. Please go check it out. We're going to be at a lot of upcoming games. Come meet us, hang out with us. We film trivia outside the arena with fans. New videos of that coming soon, of course. That is going to bring us to the end of our hockey episode of Dingers and Dashers this week. We thank you all so much for watching, and we will see you later.